Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Detroit Den. Steve here, flying solo for the time being. Will is working. I will be getting with him later tonight to get out another episode. We got a good one coming for you. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications. You don't want to miss it. Like we've been saying, the past month or so, we've been really heavy on one of two things, either NFL free agency or the NFL draft and some college prospects. We've been hammering it out hard. We've been asking you guys out to leave some names and comments for some college players that we can look out for, some guys we can study up on. And I've taken your guys' advice. I have seen a lot of people, I don't know how many, probably maybe seven or eight people. It's not an astronomical number. 7 or 8 people comment and just put, you guys need to look into Renardo Green, the cornerback from Florida State. So I did that today. That's what I've been doing most of my day today, is looking up Renardo Green from Florida State, and I'm impressed. I don't hate what I see. I'm not in love with everything, but cornerback, Florida State, 6 foot, 100, we'll call it 190 pounds. We'll round up a little bit. We'll be a little generous here. There's a lot of things I do like about this kid. 4-year starter at Florida State. What I really like, 4-year starter. In those 4 years, he has played mostly press man coverage. That's what the Lions need. We need a guy that can do what he does. I'm gonna get to some stuff later in the episode. Some concerns, some pros, some cons coming up here in a minute. But 270 out of 363 plays this past season in 2023 were coming off of press man coverage. That's a passer rating, or I'm sorry, a PFF rating for him at his position of 86.7. Now, he plays against some of the best receivers in this NFL draft class. He's gone up against Malik Neighbors, top 10, maybe top 5 NFL draft pick this year. Brian Thomas Jr., maybe a first-round pick this year. Ricky Purcell from Florida, stud. He'll be a nice solid pick here when he's eligible. He's just not old enough to come out of the draft yet. So what he does is he goes against the other team's best. Playing in the ACC, they go against a lot of obviously ACC schools, but they do put on some SEC teams on there as well to try to get in the playoff. You guys know about the whole snubbing of Florida State in the playoff, but he goes against the other team's best. He's their lockdown corner guy. He's the guy that you put out there and you say, take away this side of the field for a college football game. He's done it very well in college. Very, very well. Probably one of the best. ACC's that's a top-notch conference. They always put out some solid kids. It's not like the MAC or the All-American Conference or anything like that. Like, the ACC is respectable. I'm not a Florida State guy. I don't have any ties to Florida State, so I'm giving my honest, unbiased opinion about him. I don't have any ties to Florida State. Their team means nothing to me personally. So what does he do really great? Like I said, great combination of size and speed, 6 foot, 190 pounds, thrives. A lot of articles that I've read, I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to breaking down college football, safeties and corners is probably the hardest one for me. I don't know why. It's just something I know I really have to dive into the technical aspect of everything. Like, I give a pretty good fair rating on quarterbacks, defensive ends, but cornerbacks and safeties are a little tough for me. So I really have to devote some time to dive into what I'm really looking at here. And this is usually where Will helps me out. But Will, I'm on my own today because you're at work. So I'm going to take the reins. Thrives in press man coverage, like I said. That's what the Detroit Lions need. We need a guy just like that. Great combination, size and speed. 4-year starter at Florida State. Tested against some of the best college receivers in college football. Those are all great. A couple cons, a couple things that I don't really care for when I watch his tape or what I've read in articles or fan pages. But obviously, I don't think he's a first round pick. But I'll get into that in a little bit. So there's going to be some cons. There's going to be some things that he needs to work on. Physicality. He's very, very physical now. As good as that sounds, the NFL's flag happy. I'd be concerned with him being so physical that he's just a walking pass interference. We saw that with Amani Oruwariye a couple years ago. I remember watching him against the Vikings. He was matched up with Amani versus Adam Thielen when he was with the Vikings. And the Vikings just learned that Amani was too physical, couldn't guard him, had his hands all over Thielen, and he was just a walking pass interference. I don't know why when I was watching this kid's tape and some of the stuff I read, that's just what burned into my memory. If you guys don't remember that game from 2 years ago, it was the game at Minnesota. It was absolutely terrible. I was actually watching that game with a Vikings fan, and I said, if I'm a Viking, if I'm Kirk Cousins, I'm not doing anything but throwing Adam Thielen and Amani Warrior because I'm getting 15 yards every time. It's just kind of what popped in my head. Physicality can be good, but we got to harness it a little bit. We got to kind of pick our spots. Another con, I saw a lot of people on Florida State websites talking about his lack of interceptions and / production. Well, yeah, that's a con. He only had one interception, but I'll tell you this, it was against Malik Neighbors, who was the top 5 pick in this draft, like I just said. One interception. I'm not overly concerned about interceptions. In the NFL, they're going to come. There's so many guys who are ball hawks that if you just have a corner who can take away one side of the field, I don't care if you're turning the ball over, force a punt. That's fine with me too. Get a pass breakup. I don't need you to catch it. I need you to just stop them from catching it. That's your job as a corner. If you catch it, great. But your number one job is not letting your receiver make a play. So I like what I see from him in that aspect. So I only put that in the cons just because that's something I was seeing regularly on other sites and YouTube videos and stuff that I was diving into was, well, he only had one interception as a 4 or 5 year starter. I don't care. I need you to break up the pass on third down. I don't need you to intercept it. If you do, phenomenal. But at the very least, end the drive, get the defense off the field, get the special teams unit out there, go get Jared Goff in the offense the ball because we know what they can do. So here's my opinion when it comes to Renardo Green. And I really do appreciate you guys leaving some names in the comments. I really enjoy this kind of stuff, diving into some players, looking into them more in depth than I normally would. I really enjoy it. I like it. It's fun for me. It's kind of like a little hobby. My opinion, when I watch his tape, when I watch his YouTube videos of some All-22, the articles I've read, I'm not in awe. I'm not sprinting to the podium to make the pick to get Renardo Green on the Detroit Lions, but I do see a potential starter if he's on the Lions. I do see a potential starter or a player who gets on the field regularly enough to become a solid piece that rotates in and out. At a very minimum, he would add some solid depth. You never know who's going to get banged up. You never know who's going to be out week to week with some injuries. I think he would be a solid piece for this team. Now, when we're talking draft prospects, me and Will, there's 3 questions I got to ask, or he has to ask. We have 3 questions that we need to throw out. Number 1, is Renardo Green a Dan Campbell type guy? 4-year starter, I think that goes to say something. I think that his coach has confidence in him to be out onto the field, even as a freshman or a younger player. He was still out there starting, competing against the ACC, SEC, all of those best. Now, I don't know Renardo Green personally. I don't know. To say he's a Dan Campbell guy, I would say he's not popped up on any radar of ever being in trouble. No type of personality or character issues that I've seen. I'm not being hired to investigate the kid. I know all that goes on in the NFL and the draft process, but I'm not the one doing it. I'm just telling you what I see. Dan Campbell guy, I don't see a reason why he wouldn't be. But what I do see is he is definitely an Aaron Glenn guy. I think this is something that the Detroit Lions defense has been lacking, is that true physical corner who you can rely on, someone who's dependable. We haven't had it. Cam Sutton's been nice, got a little banged up, got torched toward the end of the season. Don't know if that was injuries. Don't know what the case was there, but I know a lot of people are not happy with him. And trust me, I wasn't happy either. I'm not sticking up for Cam. I think he's going to be a solid corner. But I do think Renardo Green definitely 100% fits Aaron Glenn's defense of having that press man coverage type corner to body up one of the other team's better receivers. I'm not saying I'm putting him out there with Justin Jefferson one-on-one for the length of a 60-minute football game and telling him to go out there and be successful. I think you'd be definitely setting him up for failure in that situation. But at times, you can try that. You can see what happens. I'm not saying it's a full-time. I'm not saying he's a Darrelle Revis where he's taking away your number 1. But I do think he fits Aaron Glenn's type of defense. Question number 2, is it a position of need for the Detroit Lions? Right now, yes, absolutely, 100%. Our secondary is set. Our corners need a little help. Kendall Vildor, not it for me. I already talked about Cam Sutton, so who's the third guy? I think if you bring Renaldo in, he's definitely the third cornerback on the team. You never know what's going to happen with injuries. Definitely a position of need, 100%. And this is all without knowing what's going to happen in free agency. We'll find that out March 13th. If Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes go out and they sign a Jalen Johnson or a Kendall Fuller, I could probably take Renaldo Green off my list. But as it sits today, yes, position of need. Projection. Excuse me. I can see Green being a round 3 pick, which is good for us because we have 2 round 3 picks. So he could fall to us. If we go out there, and I know Will's really high on Edgerrin Cooper. I really like the kid too. If you guys haven't checked out his tape, do that. Edgerrin Cooper, linebacker, Texas A&M, absolute stud. Fits what our defense kind of needs. It gives us some speed, some versatility. And then if we can go out and get another starting corner, someone like a Renaldo Green, I'd love it. I think we'd have a phenomenal draft. But everything depends on free agency, guys. I'm going to keep hammering that. I'm going to say it in every episode. Draft talk is fun, but the Detroit Lions are at a point where we finally don't have huge, glaring needs. We can have a little bit of luxury when we go to the NFL draft if we have the right free agency. So my projection, round 3, I think he fits. But like I said, I don't see him as a round 1 talent, not even close. But round 3, guys, you can still come in and start for teams. That's kind of my cutoff. I've always said round 1, round 2, sometimes those round 3 guys, I'm looking for you to come in and be a starter on my team. This would be a tough task for him to be a starter. But like I said, I think he gets some solid playing time, and he would definitely help. So, guys, that's it. That's my breakdown for Renaldo Green. I've dove into it for a couple hours today, looked into him, checked him out. I like what I see. Day 2 pick for me in round 3. I can definitely get behind something like that 100%. And I would give that pick an A for today as we sit with where our team roster is constructed. I think that would be a solid pick in round 3. But leave another name in the comments. We will look into some guys. That's what we like to do. We like to have some open dialogue here. So, guys, drop it in the comments. Leave some names. Hit that like button. If you're a Detroit Lions fan and you're not subscribed here, you're missing out. Turn on that bell notification. You'll be notified every time we post a video. Have a good day, guys. I'll be with Will later tonight. We'll get something else out for you. See ya.